We're back to Don't Be Shy. Look what we're doing, fam. And with Princey. Tell him what we're doing.
Welcome back to Don't Be Shy. And today we've got the triple threat, the main man, Nøvel. Go on then, introduce yourself, lads.
My name's Dre, Leeds, NÜVEL co-founder.
Niah, you know me, NÜVEL co-founder, DBS member.
What's up, my name's Ellz, also NÜVEL co-founder. You know how it gets.
Welcome today, lads. It's nice having you free. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So,
Set up.
you know what I mean? Got to change up, top tier life, you know what I mean?
Top tier night.
You know what I mean? So every day is top tier. So let's start off. So where did the name Nøvel come from then?
You know what it is, yeah? We just wanted to find something that kind of suited the image of the brand that we were trying to like create. So we like the top tier vibes, the high class vibes. So we're looking for a name that kind of either related or represented it. So we looked in like different languages, different places, and then we found like top tier in Spanish was like Nøvel superior or something. So we just like we like the U, so we just changed the I for the U and then created Nøvel.
And then we added 2 dots above the U just to give it that extra spicy, exclusive feel.
Yeah.
No.
What about you, Dre? Not Dre and Ellz.
First of all, get my name right, lads.
But you know what I mean? I'm just there, just.
It's alright, man.
So
Yeah.
how?
Go on, no, go on.
So how long before you made the name have you had that idea of like you three wanna just get out there and just have an event sort of thing?
It's a weird one, you know. So it started like we was in, I think it was July 2022. We was in Greece, innit? Me, Dre, and a couple of the other boys, and then we were sat around the pool, and then we were just thinking like, man, I don't want to go leave here and go back to Leeds because Leeds is dead. We're having a good time in Greece. And I was thinking like, what could we do that kind of made the nightlife a bit different? So came up with the idea. Very like drunk moment, sat by the pool, talking about life, where we can go and stuff like that. And then the idea just came, and then Dre took it upon himself to obviously talk about bringing Ellz in, and then that's how it started.
Yeah, ideally we just thought in Leeds when somewhat good starts it doesn't really last, so we just had to think of a model of like an event where we can bring all the people that like to have a good time, that don't go out as often, but when they do, they have a lot of fun and they can connect with like-minded people.
Okay. So just another one. So what made you pick the first event near Barbacoa? Barbacoa. So it made you. How did that all start off then? So how many months of like preparation?
There was quite like a few talks anyway. Obviously, these man obviously shouted me. I was already doing like events and stuff in Leeds anyway. Doing management and like Showstar and things like that. And what I thought was I was the guy back in the day, but I thought obviously these man they came with a sick idea, obviously, and then we jumped on it, and then loads of planning, wasn't there?
Yeah, loads of meetings.
Loads of meetings. And then we thought, let's look at different venues where we can actually just get out there and get in the field of events. Obviously, Barbacoa was obviously a great venue to start off with, and then just gave us the shot basically, and we just rang up the owner and just said, listen, this is what we're going to do, this is what we can bring, because between us there's a lot of
chemistry.
Yeah, there's a lot of chemistry, but there's a lot of people that we know as well that can just give maximum exposure to other venues. So we definitely thought, let's go with Barbacoa, and it turned out to be the perfect venue from there.
Yeah, before we could even pitch Barbacoa, we had about 8 to 9 months of planning, so we all had like a set date and time each week where we'd meet up, link up, do a business meeting, write out a few things to do with the brand, like what our ethos stands for, what NÜVEL's about really, and then just had to write out what's needed in a good event, etc., just so that we could tick all them points off when we was going to approach venue owners, and then from there we decided to approach Oracle.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't see like what actually has to happen behind the scenes, in the sense of before you can even put an idea out there or kind of go to a venue, they have to have a plan in place, because the first thing that's going to be like, what makes you different to other events, or why should we give you the opportunity? So it takes a lot of work and a lot of kind of commitment to kind of put the ideas in place and then keep on like what Dre said, the ethos of what we're trying to build and trying to bring. and obviously then we have it in a format where we can make someone else believe in the idea as well. So obviously we spoke to Simon, the owner at Barracoa, and obviously he just fed into what we was kind of believing and what we was kind of wanting to achieve. So big up to Simon and them lot, because obviously if we didn't have that starting point, we wouldn't be here today. And there was other venues that we tried, didn't hear no back from. Do you know what I mean? Man had to deal with the rejection from a few points. So
it's just off the back of what Niah said. Like, it's so difficult. I don't think people know how much work actually goes into it. There's been times where we've met like 3 times in a week and things like that, where we've tried to like get to how we're gonna do this. Do you know what I mean? But it's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah. So talking about just it's difficult, not easy, like mindset and mentality. So when things won't go in your way, when places are not getting back to you, and like the costs and stuff like that are not matching what in your budget, like what was the mindset and like the shift? Like what did you all do to make it, you know, this needs to work on X, Y, and Z?
I'd just say, do you know what it is? We had a plan and we knew what we kind of wanted to achieve. So I felt like nothing was really going to take us off our path. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had an end goal, what we can kind of see as like an exclusive member-only event, and we knew how we were going to get there. So everything was just like stepping stones to reach a certain point, and all we needed to do really was be able to like demograph and show what we could do. All we needed was the space to kind of put them people together and have the night. And as soon as we had that evidence, everything just started rolling from there. Do you know what I mean? We only had to have that one event to show, we can do that. We did it on a Sunday, like when everyone had work the next day. We got 200 people in Barracoa at the bottom of time. Do you know what I mean? And that was a big achievement for man. So as soon as we knew we could do it, it made sense. You know what I'm saying?
You got to think on the time and the place and doing things, especially on a Sunday. But like Jay said earlier, like Leeds was a dying city. It was a dying city before. Like I'm saying it now because we definitely have brought it back. But at the same time, beforehand, even after COVID, it was just dead, absolutely dead. And I think people looked at obviously our niche and our brand and thought, wow, this is something exciting. This is something where I can actually enjoy going out again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you got to think all the restrictions that came into place after COVID was difficult for people to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? But I think that we definitely brought something back for people to enjoy 1,000%. So hence the reason top tier night, top tier life. Do you know what I mean?
What's going on there?
And off the back of that, we also just we questioned people. We just wanted the crowd to hear like their concerns of what they want to see from a night out. What do they go for? Once we've heard the people speak, we just decided to put what they needed to see and enjoy.
So you know, after the first event at Barracoa, like expectations were higher because once you've hit a level of expectations, did you feel like, right, that motivated you a lot, didn't it? And then what did you have to do from then on to keep that the same level of, you know what I mean, the same level and go up and beyond?
I think it's hard, obviously, because when you have an event and obviously you set a standard or a precedent with like how you kind of move and how you've kind of like shown people that experience of the event, you always want to better it. You want to give them more. At minimum, you got to give them the same effect, but it's hard because when something new happens, it's more exciting, like what Ellz is saying. But once you've experienced it once, if you keep repeating it, it gets boring. It gets like norm. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So we had to try to think of every way how we're going to try and make it better, different themes. Like the process of what we kind of do behind the scenes per event, we're always trying to make it slightly different. We want to try and make it more encouraging for different people to come in. We want to make sure the marketing's right, where we do like social media stuff and kind of like what Dre said, impact like and bring in what other people were thinking about the event. So we got loads of feedback off the first one and we thought, cool, we're going to implement that on the second one, make it better. So yeah, man, it's tough, but you always want to make improvements for the people.
It's all a level of psychology as well. Like, you got to think, if you're in a small town and you go out to the same spots every week, you're going to see the same people. So we just had to implement a strategy where we can bring people from out of town that we all have personal connections with, and we know that these people are like-minded like us. So if we all contribute from our side of the social circles and we bring all of them people into one big space, that will just keep growing, because then people will connect with each other, and then so on and so forth. It'll just get bigger and better.
Yeah.
People just trying to get in and just have to stand there for about an hour. It just goes to show that the demand is very high. Like, and the event is popping to the point that people are willing to sacrifice their time just to get in and see what it's all about. and just the visual of everyone in their white outfits just made it look to me that like the brand's growing and we're having a lot of influence.
Gaza, yeah. Cheers. You know what it is? Yeah, I think them two, what they've said, are probably the best two events that have happened, if I'm being honest. But for me, mine might be XEV, the Hush one, Halloween. Cause I feel like a lot of the events that we've had, yeah, and obviously are on big stages and big platforms with a big venue, like capacity. But I thought because this was on a lot smaller scale, a lot of people were just enjoying it. Everyone there was having different kind of enjoyments. You vibed, you networked a lot better because it was just a more like confined space, you know what I'm saying? So like you intimate, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like everyone kind of enjoyed themselves in a different way. Not better, but just different. And I feel like it was good to show that we can do different things, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was our first event outside of Barracoa as well. So it just showed that we could go to a different venue and still make noise.
You know what I mean? So for that one, I like that. So I seen that recently you went to Manchester. So was it like, was you a bit worried about how the outcome would be? Because it's a different city compared to, you know what I mean, completely out away from Leeds. So what was your expectations there? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's always difficult when you go to like a different city. You never know what's going to happen. You never know, or are people going to, you've always got in the back of your mind, are people going to come to NÜVEL? Are people going to come to, not even NÜVEL, like an event, do you know what I mean? And it's how you market stuff, how you communicate with people, like how good is your brand and what's different from that for everyone to come to, do you know what I mean? Especially in a different city. Like Leeds, obviously we're all from Leeds, we can try and get as much support as possible, but you go into a different city, it's the difference on how you're actually doing things, how you communicate with people, how you're getting them people to the event. And I think that obviously once we got into our motion of doing things, especially our promo campaign, I think it's a lot more easier to go from that.
Yeah, I'd just say obviously Manchester is like the big fish, the big local fish in the sense of we was like the big fish in a small pond in Leeds, and then now the little, do you know what I mean, the little fish in the big pond in Manchester kind of thing. So I feel like we're going into a different territory where there's obviously a lot more competition, a lot more people that obviously could come to the event, because you got to think there's a lot more footfall in Manchester. There's more people you can attract to an area, so it's exciting. But in the same time, it's nerve-wracking because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. But lucky for us, obviously, our brand was strong enough to like transition from one city to another. We had people in Manchester that couldn't come to the Leeds one, but they already seen what man were doing in Leeds and messed with it. You know what I'm saying? They liked what we were doing. So when you go in and posting that we come to Manchester, I had bad people hit me up, bad people. So it was like, it just shows how much the brand grew in that first year. Do you know what I mean? That what we were doing consistently in Leeds kind of like resonated in other areas, which obviously that's what we want in it.
so talking about the first event out of Barracoa, how was the transition moving from Barracoa onwards to different sort of venues, and the planning as well? How long did it take as well for like each?
Long, bro. Like obviously, like that behind the scenes thing of actually getting a venue, I think is the toughest part of the whole process for me personally. Because I feel like you've got to obviously like coordinate with like the people that own the venue. You've got to obviously sit down, obviously make sure like your brands are like work with each other, or even if not, you can obviously have to pay a hiring fee, different things you got to pay for so you can use the full capacity of the venue. Times, set locations don't want to give you certain times because they might be making a Saturday, but their Saturdays are consistent every week, so they don't want to change it with a one-off event. Even if the brand could make them more money, they don't see it as that. So getting the actual things down and obviously in motion and stuff like that, it's tough, bro. So obviously it's good that we had a good backbone at Barracoa to show we can consistently like produce the people and the income, because if we're being honest, it's a business at the end of the day. If we got people and making no money, people are not going to want us in their venue, do you know what I'm saying? So when we've gone to these like higher, bigger places, obviously we had evidence, we had the data, so speaking to them, it was good, man. And then they let man show what we can do, and then we've just been going up and up and up.
So all three of you, question for all three of you. So like, what's your biggest learning curve, and like, what could you have done better, or what can you do better going forward? Ellz?
In terms of the event, or
yeah, just like an event and just working as a trio. You know what I mean? Like, comes with pros and cons, but just like in general, like, what could you have done better going forward, and like, what's the biggest learning curve? And you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely answer that. I think that we've spoke about that previously before. Anyway, I think that it's establishing what each other each one of us is good at. So Dre might be better at me at something else. Niah might be better at me at something else. I might be better at with like the Niah or Dre at something else. You know what I mean? It's like roles basically. So where do people fit in? How are you going to make that brand better in that category? Like, how are you actually going to do that? And I think that's been the toughest part, because when we first started, it was so like hands-on. It's like, oh, everyone, we want this to work. Everything, like, do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a part to play, which is good, and we all have. But at the same time, when you progress and you move up like the ladder and you up the standard, what is it that you bring to the team that's gonna like maximize the opportunity on the event working well, on the brand working well, on the business working well? And I think that's been the toughest part for obviously the journey to establish that. But I think that now we actually have that. So for me, I think that's more of a learning curve, 1,000%, and just sticking to that. Because if you stick to it, and you stay in your lane per se, then obviously it's just gonna complement everyone else in their roles. So that's me basically.
I think, yeah, just off what Ellz said, it's just about knowing each individual's roles within the organisation of who's responsible for what. So one of us might be responsible for the artwork, the other person will be responsible for setting up the meetings, doing the proposals, and the other side will be the marketing, the sales. So I think it's about kind of differentiating taking the friendship out of the business. So it's more like business orientated, and once you're treating it like that and you get the results from like the work each person puts in, then collectively the business will prosper and keep getting bigger. So what I've learned more is just you're treating it more like your little baby that you have to just keep nurturing, and you have to keep putting the daily deposits from your side and making sure everyone's on the same kind of footpath, and then with all those little energies combined, you just grow the business bigger. So to me, it's just learning how to contribute and putting my value and making sure everyone's on the same page.
Respect that. And you?
I'd just say I feel like the biggest learning curve for me in the business is like not all opportunity is good opportunity, in the sense where it's like we've had different thoughts about doing different things and going to different venues at set times, but I feel like every decision we made, we proper think it through before we make a decision or put something out there or decide to do this. There'll be 3-4 options, there'll be reasons why, like do's and don'ts, so do you know what I mean, for each thing. And I feel like the reason why we're at where we're at today is because we've taken the right opportunities at the right time, do you know what I mean? And I don't feel like I can look back and think any event that's happened kind of gone wrong, or it's not been how we've kind of wanted it to go, because we've thoroughly planned it out. We've set like a precedent of how we want it to go, and it always matches it, do you know what I mean? Because we take the time to kind of make sure, like to me, it's weird, we seen this the other day, it's like another full-time job. Do you know what I mean? Like every day you're doing something that's Nøvel related. Like it's not like you just think, oh, I got an event in 3 months, we're just going to wait till 2 weeks before and put a date. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so much that's going on, bro. It's long, but it's long because we're passionate about what we do and we enjoy it. So I feel like everything's kind of gone how it's meant to go. So
Yeah, it's been good. So your social media, so like that's a big thing in everyday society now with events. So why do you feel yours is so different, and why do people come back and keep coming to the next event and the next top tier life, the next top tier night? You know what I mean? Why do people keep coming back?
Because we're lit, man.
Just like I said, because we're lit. Really
Stand on
and
it,
truly,
man.
it's like,
Stand on it.
yeah, we stand on business. But realistically, if we're being honest, I think it's just what we put out from our personal social medias. People like what's going on in our personal lives, and then I think through that we kind of funnel the exposure that we give to our followers to then get them to go to Nøvel, because at the end of the day we're all going to be centered around Nøvel with our interest, and then the people that are watching us, they might not be necessarily posting on the Instagram as we are, but they've probably got a similar interest like we do, similar hobbies, and then they'll probably think, well, we want to be around them kind of people, because we know the mindset's pretty much the same as me, myself. Like if I was watching myself from Instagram, I'd like what I see, and then I don't want to be around. I want to be around.
You've got to be around
I want to be around that kind of energy. So if I'm going to catch this person at an event, fully knowing that I don't see this person every other week on a night out, but they're going to be there, I want to be around that kind of energy and party with them. That's from my personal point of view.
What, you too?
Yeah, I think that obviously power of social media is massive. Whether you're growing or not, just off the back of what Dre said, I think that obviously if you see something that's aesthetically pleasing, I said that right. Yeah. It's aesthetically pleasing, then you're gonna want to be involved in and around it 1,000%. And if it's not, then you don't want to be around it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna drop the tactics on obviously why our social media looks good, but we know that it looks good, and we know that because we benefit from the fruits of our labour. Like, people come to the event, they always want to come to the event. And obviously if you see something on social media and you're like, oh wow, it's good, you're definitely going to come to it. So yeah, I think that Nøvel is like, the Nøvel social anyway is sick.
Yeah, because there's a few nice women there, innit? You know
Yeah, whatever floats your boats, innit?
I am alive.
Obviously,
yeah, if you like what you see, you like what you see.
How do you attract all them women, innit? You know what I mean?
Why does that make you want to come?
Yeah. But it comes because it's for you as well, now, you know what I mean?
Thank you, my brother. You know what I mean? But you're saying that the pretty ladies also help?
Yeah, of course.
There's pretty ladies everywhere, man. Don't
But how
come
do
to
you
a top tier
attract
night, top tier life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only right.
How do you not attract them then?
How do you feel when you look at our page?
How do I feel? I feel like, wow, like...
Feel good in it.
Yeah, if it looks good, it
You
looks
feel like you want to come.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what the women feel like as well. That's what the men feel like, bro.
Yeah, I feel like it's just everyone looks like clean, presentable, everyone looks good, and then I feel like it's... Huh? Everyone looks good, everyone looks thing, but it's an environment where you want to come and step out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like in Leeds there's not many places where you feel like, cool, I'm gonna come and step out. Yo, you see people in Sky Lounge, the recent one, everyone's in dresses and that, like mad. Like, you don't really see that in Leeds too much anymore. Do you know what I mean? For our category anyway. Do you know what I mean? Proper dressing up, and obviously we appreciate that because that's what we want to kind of build, that environment for people to feel comfortable to come looking like that. Men looking all fly, girl looking nice.
Shaking it and that, innit?
Didn't say that. If that's what you like, that's what I'm saying. If you like that, then... Did you come to the last one?
Of course I did.
Did you enjoy that?
Of course I enjoyed it. You know me. You know what I mean?
Why did you enjoy it though, bro?
Why did I enjoy it? Just seeing people again, you know what I mean? Just seeing everyone.
Networking. Obviously, like I said, it's not just a party, it's networking.
Networking, you know what I mean?
We seen you having fun, bro. It's good.
I mean, I seen what Dre was doing, Hennessy and that, yeah?
Yeah.
Ladies and that. You want enjoying yourself only, innit? What you say? You want enjoying himself? What'd you say?
I'm just making sure the customers are having fun, so...
Oh, yeah.
It's all about customer service, bro.
Yeah, it's all about the customer service. Like, when you go into an event, there's another thing in, like, Leeds, for example, you'll go to a spot to have fun and people are just stood there, no one's dancing, no one's having fun. In Nøvel, what we do is we bring that confidence out of people and we make everyone feel comfortable and make them want to enjoy an actual party rather than just be stood around and, do you know what I mean, not doing anything.
It's about engagement. Yeah. We're there as well because we want to see people enjoy themselves. But if they see us enjoy ourselves, then they're more likely to do the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Why are they coming to Nøvel?
Realistically, we're the icebreaker. As soon as we've got the main crowd in, we make sure we have to party, do a little dance and get the Henny out. And then everyone else
Henny.
What dance do you do?
I think you should demonstrate.
Those sturdies, innit?
No, just for Nøvel. You'll see soon enough.
See what's going on. I really see what's going on. So in the next event, so what we're expecting in the next event? You know what I mean?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I feel like we've got our obviously second anniversary coming up. Obviously coming up soon, so we want to celebrate that. We've got a couple big collabs coming outside the city as well. Obviously bringing back some of the members' favourites as well later down the year. So we're just trying to give everyone what they want kind of thing, do you know what I mean? Obviously some people are saying, obviously, because we're bi-monthly, innit? We normally do one every 2 months. Some people want it more regular, some people like the rate we go at the moment. So we're just trying to spread it out as much as possible so everyone can feel the Nøvel effect, innit? Touch different cities, see how they like it, do you know what I mean?
Not like it.
You know what I mean? But I'm